Okay guys, so this is part 2 of a picture book with Harriet Tubman. This is day 1, this will be video part 2. In 1835, Harriet came between a master and a slave who was running away. The master threw a metal weight at the runaway. It hit Harriet instead and almost killed her. So here's the picture that we read from yesterday in video part 1, or the illustration, my mistake, talking about Nat Turner. And this is an illustration of Harriet being in the way of a slave owner and a runaway slave in the background. Kind of you see towards the door, and you can see she gets hit. She's about to get hit in the head with a weight. Harriet had a deep cut in her forehead that never fully healed. For the next almost 8 years, Harriet suffered from severe headaches and sleeping spells. But she survived, and thank God for saving her. After the accident, she often prayed. So here's our first question. You probably don't have somebody to sit next to and talk to, but here's something I want you guys to think about. What did you learn about Harriet's life as a slave from those first 10 pages? What did you learn about Harriet's life as a slave in those first 10 pages or so? Go ahead and hit pause, think about it, then hit unpause, and we'll come back. In 1844, Harriet married John Tubman, a free man. They lived in his cabin near the Broadus plantation. Harriet was thinking about running away. She wanted John to join her, but he would not. He said that if she ran away, he would tell her master, and soon the patrollers and their dogs would be after her. What did you learn about Harriet's escape from slavery? What did you learn about Harriet's escape from slavery? Go ahead and pause, think about that, come back with a formulation of an idea. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue now. But Harriet had made up her mind. She started planning her escape. Remember, guys, you can always pause if you want to look at the pictures a little longer. Slaves often sang songs in the field. The afternoon before Harriet ran off, she sang too. And in the words of her song was a message to the other slaves. When the chariot comes, I'm going to leave you. I'm bound for the promised land. For Harriet Tubman, the promised land was north, where she would be free. Harriet escaped at night with 3 of her brothers. They had no food, no money, and they didn't know where to go. Soon after they left, Harriet's brothers decided to turn back. They made Harriet go back too. 2 nights later, Harriet went off alone. I had a right to liberty or a right to death, she said after her escape. If I could not have one, I would not have the other. Remember, guys, you can always pause to see the pictures a little longer. Harriet ran to the house of a white woman who had once offered to help her. The woman told Harriet which house to go to next. The people in the second house directed Harriet to another house further north. Harriet was traveling on what was known as the Underground Railroad. Each stop on the railroad was the house of someone who believed slavery was wrong and was willing to help runaway slaves find their way to freedom. Harriet hid during the day. She traveled at night until she reached Pennsylvania. There was a law in that state against owning slaves. Harriet Tubman was a free woman. She felt like a new person. She said later, the sun came up like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven. All right, guys, so here's the next question for you. It's actually the same one that we had before, but I want you to think about it again. What did you guys learn about Harriet Tubman's escape from slavery? Because her story of escape is very similar to other slaves who did escape slavery at this time. So go ahead, hit pause, think about it, come back with an answer. During the years between 1850 and 1860, Harriet worked as a cook, dishwasher, and cleaning woman. She used much of the money she earned to make 9 trips south to lead about 300 slaves to freedom. Many of them were her own relatives. And here's the picture from the previous stop and this one. Remember, you guys can always pause to look at them a little closer. Harriet took them from one safe house to the next. Sometimes she led them as far as Canada. She was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. At times, Harriet disguised herself as a weak old woman or as a man. She used songs as a secret code. When the runaways were hiding and it was safe to come out, she sang a joyful song. Hail, oh hail, ye happy spirits. The runaway slaves always recognized Harriet's deep, husky voice. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pause. The next video is going to go ahead and finish up the book and the next part. So go ahead when you're done with this video, click on part 3.